welcome to my channel. Today we'll be making Lebanese beef chili stew with Fasolia beans. For this recipe, we'll need the following ingredients. So the night before you cook this, we're going to soak these pinto beans in some warm water. We're going to start off rinsing out these beans and putting them in a pot with some water. Bring it up to a boil and basically just leave it on medium for about 1 hour. So while that is cooking, we're going to put 10 cloves of garlic inside a bowl along with some salt, and I'm going to crush these garlic up. So if you use a lot of garlic at home, you can definitely find this fancy one at a local Middle Eastern grocery store. This is how the beans look like after half an hour. I took it out half an hour earlier so I can freeze half of it in the freezer, and the other half I will let it continue cooking inside the stew. So if you do cook your Fasolia beans for that whole hour, you will need to keep the water, and I like to put the water that the beans are boiled with into the stew as well, and that will make the stew so thick. For the stew, we will need some chunks of beef. It's really your choice how much meat you want to put in there. This is how much I put inside my stew. We'll need 1 whole onion diced. I'm using red. Next, we will need half a batch of cilantro, and we're going to roughly dice that. And I'm not really good at measurements, but usually when you go to the grocery store and it comes in like a small little batch, I use half of that, so you know what I mean. We will also need those 10 cloves of garlic that we just mashed up. And 3 bay leaves. We'll also need some cinnamon powder. You may use actual cinnamon sticks if you like. Some black pepper. And don't forget the salt. I like to use sea salt, but this is all I have, so. We will also need some Lebanese 7 spices. You can find this in any Middle Eastern grocery store, or I think they might have this in a Mediterranean one as well, not sure. Definitely not going to forget our pure olive oil. Alright guys, so let's get cooking. So first I'm going to pour in approximately 1 tablespoon of olive oil inside a pot, and we're going to crank this heat up to high just to get it going. So when it looks like it's hot, we're going to pour in our onions and lower our heat to a medium-high. Wow, you know you have OCD when those 2 cilantro in the onions bother you. Now we're going to stir this up. So now let's put the lid back on, and we're going to let it cook for about 5 minutes. minutes later, when it starts to look like this, a little translucent, we're going to add in our garlic. Next, let's add in our cilantro, and we're going to mix that up again. We're going to put in all the beef. Now we're going to add in the bay leaves and half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder. And about 1 tablespoon of salt. I like to use a lot of black pepper, so I'm just crushing enough so that it's covering everything. But it's really your choice how much black pepper you want, or if you want any at all. So after 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to add in some veggie broth. My bad, I totally forgot to tell you guys that we need some. It would be great if it was homemade, but I bought mine from the store. It will taste just as good. So as you can tell, I don't have a lot of veggie broth from this carton, so I'm going to add in 2 extra cups of water. Wow, this is so unprofessional because we will be needing some tomato paste as well. Okay, I know, my bad, whatever. Anyway, so I'm using this big old can of tomato paste. I'm going to use the whole thing, I think. Actually, no. I ended up using only 3/4 of that can. Stir, stir, stir. To take the flavor up to the next level, we're going to add in a tablespoon of cane sugar, and this will also balance the acid out from the tomato paste. So if you have guests over and you really want to impress them, I would add 1 cube of these Knorr chicken bouillon. This will give your stew such a nice flavor. And if you guys are all wondering why I'm not using beef, because I find that the chicken tastes better, the beef ones are way too strong. But obviously guys, this is optional, so you don't have to do this. So now I'm just sprinkling some cinnamon powder, I would say about half a teaspoon. Going to top it off with some more black pepper because you know I like that spice. Now I'm adding about 1 tablespoon of the Lebanese 7 spices. Now it's time to add in the cooked fasolia. So fasolia is just, I think is an Arabic for these beans, but these beans are called pinto beans. You can also use like different kind of beans for this recipe, but so far I've only tried the pinto kinds. When you go to the grocery store and you buy these beans, it comes in like a bag. I'm not really sure what the measurements are, but I will find out and list everything below in the description box. But I've only used half of the bag. So let's put a lid on this and we're going to lower the heat to low and simmer this for a good 2 hours. You can take it out after an hour if you like. Everything will definitely be cooked, but for me, I like the beef so tender, so 2 hours will make the beef super tender and soft. 2 hours later, this is how it looks like. So yummy and delicious. And this stew is served with some Lebanese rice. I will definitely post a video on that in the future, how to make Lebanese rice. And if you're extra like me, I put it in a cute little bear shape. Makes it look so cute. I just want to eat it all. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!